Champagne, anyone? The road to the Kentucky Derby is officially on, and it runs right through New York this weekend. We got the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes, a mile showdown on the dirt, 10 Derby points on the line, and this is where future stars announce themselves to the world. And oh, do I dare say it, it's also a win and you're in for the Breeders Cup Juvenile race. 9 two-year-olds are going to get into that starting gate. How are you going to find your winner? Facts and figures are going to give you the winning edge. I give you the stats, you make the picks. Hi, it's Maura from Trifecta and a little bit extra, and I've been an avid horse racing handicapper for over 16 years, and guess what? I don't give you picks. I teach you how to find your own winners. And in this video, I'm going through every contender of the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes. We're going to look at who can crush this distance, who's trending up at the perfect time, and how this race could shape the early Derby picture. So buckle up, because by the end of this preview, you're going to know which horses are ready to take that next big step on the Derby trail. And although I do not do picks, I will tell you along the way which horses I personally think have the best stats for this race. And here's what we're going to be looking at: past performances. Who have they been running against? Can they get that mile distance? And if we could tell based on their past races, running style, because pace is a major factor in this race. I looked at the last 25 years, and 5 of the winners in the last 25 years, that's 20%, went gate to wire, and another 11, 44%, they were within 1.5 lengths from the leader at the half pole, and that means being forwardly placed is key. And the reason for that could be this is a one-turn mile. It plays more like an extended sprint. So let me remind you this: horse betting is not legal in every state. So if you're betting, make sure it's legal. Now let's see who is ready to step up and pop the champagne. The number 1 horse is Curtain Call. I feel like I should do a bow here. Trained by Mark Casse, he'll be ridden by Ricardo Santana Jr. 3 starts, always on the board, a win, a place, and a show. Now, 3 starts may not seem like much, but these are 2-year-olds, and he is the most experienced horse in the field. But has he gone the mile yet? No. His last prep race was a key prep race for this race, and that was the G1 Hopeful at Saratoga. 7 furlongs. In fact, he's one of only 2 horses that have that Grade 1 experience leading up to this race. And in horse racing, we say that he's exhibiting class, meaning he has been competing against some top competition. Now, how did he do in that race? Well, he came out of post position 1, just like he's doing today. He sits off the lead pack, going around the turn. He takes aim. He is running his heart out, but he cannot catch up with the leader, and he finishes 3rd with an 82 buyer. None too shabby considering that was a Grade 1 race. Now, prior to that race, he registered another 82 buyer in a 6 furlong maiden special weight at Saratoga. Even though he stumbled at the break, he won by an incredible 8 lengths. Can he get the extra distance? Well, he's by Tiz the Law, and Tiz the Law excelled at the longer distances and is the sire of Tiztastic, who last year won the Louisiana Derby at 1 mile and 3/16 and went on to the Kentucky Derby. From a running style, I like the fact that this horse stalks, but I need him to be like he was in the maiden race, 1.5 lengths from the leader at the half pole. And if I look at his early pace in his past races, he has to improve to keep up with the horses in this race. So I like the class. I like the speed. Puts him in the mix. Not top tier, but puts him in the mix. I like the fact he's got the pedigree, and I like his stalking style, but I want to see him have early pace. So for me, may not be a top contender, but is one I will be watching. The next horse is the most expensive horse in the field, and that is Stradale, appropriately named. He is a $1.2 million purchase by Yaupon, and I point that out because someone typically does not spend that much on a horse and not think highly of him. Trained by Steve Asmussen, he'll be ridden by Manny Franco. This horse has 2 starts with a place in a show, and what that means is he is still a maiden, meaning he has yet to win a race. Now, we typically don't see horses go from 2 maiden races, not win, and jump up to a grade 1, and that must speak to how much that they think of this horse and the expectations they have for him. His very first race, 6 furlongs at Saratoga, rough beginning, and then was last of the 8 horses. He started to rev his engines, but had to tap on those brakes. Somehow managed to have the fight left in him. He recovers, finishes 3rd with a 65 buyer. Next up is a 7 furlong maiden race at Saratoga. This time he breaks well. He goes right to the front. Now he is setting some blazing hot fractions. Talk about pedal to the metal. 22 and change. 44 and change. He turns for home. It looks like he's going to the winner's circle, but here comes Talkin, who's also in this race. Talkin wins by a neck, but Stradale, he was very flashy with speed of an 81 buyer. Does he have what it takes to get the mile? He's by Yaupon, who topped out at 7 furlongs. And Stradale is part of his first crop of foals, so hard to say. What about running style? Well, if we see anything like that last race, this horse is going to want to get right to the lead. Talented horse, but if he does that, he's going to need to control that pace a little bit more, because remember, this is a longer distance and he needs to last to the end. So for me personally, this is a very talented horse, but I'm seeing others I like for the win contention. The next horse, Kenny McPeak calls his next Derby winner, and that is Universe. He'll be ridden by Christopher Elliott. 1 start and 1 win, a $100,000 maiden special weight at Saratoga, going 7 furlongs. After hitting the gate hard, coming out of post position 1, he sprints up to be in that lead pack. Around the turn, he angles, takes over, and wins with a strong late kick and wins by 4, but only registers a 68 buyer. Of the horses he beat that day, only 2 have run back. Now, 1 did improve with an 80 buyer, but the other one pretty much held steady, so it's very hard to say who did he beat that day. His jockey says he's talented, was just really green during that race. Can he get the mile? His sire is Global Campaign, who won the G1 Woodward and came in 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Classic, going 1.25 miles. His dam sire is Quality Road, who is known for conquering the longer distances. So you got to believe the mile is in his Universe. Running style had a lot of early speed in that last race, but could have been because he hit the gate and he was just trying to catch up to that lead pack. So I'm not really sure what his running style will be. Now, I really like his pedigree. His buyer is lower compared to the other horses, but given that pedigree and that late surge, going to be one I'll keep an eye on. Maybe not the win contender here. I want to see one more race before, if I can tell, is he really on the Derby trail. Before we move on to that next horse, if you're finding this information useful, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. I'm going to be bringing you premium content leading up to the Breeders' Cup and also all of the Derby preps. And in fact, I've got a video right here that I just did that helps you find that Breeders' Cup Classic winner. And there's a new button. It's right there next to the like button. It's called Hype. Hype helps small creators like me find audiences like you. So please consider hyping and also sharing with all of your horse racing buddies. Now on to that next horse. The number 4 horse is AI. trained by Joseph Orsino. He'll be ridden by Samuel Marin. 2 starts with 1 win. And that win, his very first race, 6 furlong maiden race at Saratoga. He was off slow, but he wins with a 62 buyer. Now, many of the horses that he beat that day, they came back and did not improve. And that speaks potentially to the lack of quality in that field. But AI, he progresses. He goes up to the G1 Hopeful, a graded stakes race, 7 furlongs at Saratoga. Again, note this, off slow. And he only manages 5th with a 73 buyer. Can he get the mile? Well, he's part of the first crop of foals by Essential Quality. And Essential Quality excelled at the longer distances, winning the Belmont and the Travers. The dam sire Divine Park also excelled at the mile, winning the mile, the Withers, and other graded stakes races. From a running style, too far back than I'm comfortable with, but in both those races, he was off slow, so that could be the factor. He would need to improve. He will need to break cleaner and faster, but this horse has the pedigree for this distance. Hey, ChatGPT, can AI win this race? Well, the answer was rising contender, but has some things to overcome. Yes, I couldn't agree more. For me, not a top contender in this race, but for me personally, I like him underneath. From AI to a horse I really have my eye on, and that is the number 5, Just ASAP. Trained by Mark Casse, he'll be ridden by Florent Giroux. 2 starts with a win and a place. And one of the reasons that I really like this horse, he has gone this distance. Now the win came at 7 furlongs at Ellis Park. He gets to the lead. He defends that lead with a trio of rivals, and he draws off by winning by 7 lengths. And although the speed rating came back a light 60, I like that many of the horses that he beat next time out improved, including Just ASAP. His next race was a mile. This distance, it was the Sapling Stakes. Again, he gets right to the lead, dictates the pace, very professional ride. And around the turn, he loses the lead, but then he fights back, regains the lead, but then loses it again and loses only by a neck. Now, I really love that dueling fighting spirit, and that to me stands out. I don't have to ask if he could go the mile. He's already gone the mile, and that takes a lot of the unknowns out. But I will mention this, his dam sire, Painter. Painter is a horse that stands out to me. And in terms of the pace, this is where I may worry a bit. He very much wants to be on the lead, but the horses that he's going against have a lot faster pace early on. I'm not going to let this deter me though. I see he's doing really well in his latest workouts. 2 bullet workouts on September 5th and 17th. 4 furlongs at 47 and change and 5 furlongs at a minute. And for me, I'm all about Just ASAP. Many things to like here. Time to move on to the number 6 horse, who is the buzziest of buzz horses, and that's It's Our Time. Trained by Tom Amos, he'll be ridden by Luis Saez. 1 start and 1 dominant win. It was a 6.5 furlong, $100,000 maiden race at Saratoga. Now he was bumped at the start, but he took over and he won by an insane 17 lengths. And the buyer first time out in the 90s, 94 to be exact, he was actually my choice that day. Why? Because I saw in his workouts, he'd gone 47 and change for 4 furlongs and a bullet at 5 furlongs. And I said, man, this horse is ready to run. Kind of like I just said with Just ASAP. Amos said that the performance was eye-catching, but now he's got to do it against accomplished horses. Can he go the distance? Well, he's by not this time. And not this time, as a sire does exceptionally well at producing dirt routers with a 19% win rate. Top progeny is Epicenter. We just talked about Epicenter being the sire of AI and winning the Belmont and the Travers. Now, Amos says he really liked the Champagne for this horse because it's a one-turn mile and he can gradually increase the distance. Running style? Well, if it's anything like we saw the last time, absolutely. He's got the right running style and the early speed to back it up. All in all, tip top contender personally in my books. Now, before we move on, I just want to tell you I exist outside of YouTube. You could come follow me on Instagram at Trifecta and Extra, on Facebook, or just visit my website, www.trifectaandextra.com. There's a contact me page and you could always drop me a note. The next horse, the 7 horse, is the only horse in the field to run longer than a mile, but it was on the turf, and that is Stickupwithoutagun. Another Kenny McPeak runner who has Luis Rivera Jr. aboard. 2 starts, 1 on the turf, 1 on the dirt. Turf route didn't really go so well. He finishes 6th, said he came up empty. So McPeak switches him to a dirt race, 6 furlong maiden at Saratoga. Does win that race, but earns a 67 buyer. Now here's what I want to point out about both of those races. They were both state-bred races, which means they're restricted to state-bred horses. Now, why do trainers put horses into state-bred races? Well, sometimes there is softer competition, so you're going to want to watch out for that, especially when they're jumping into competition like this. Other reasons why trainers may put horses into state-bred races? Well, you may have lucrative purses, you may get state bonuses or incentives, or they just want to sharpen their skills before increasing into the deeper waters. Now, if you look at the horses he beat that day, how did they do next time out? No one really jumped over a 62 buyer, so given that, I'm going to pass on Stickupwithoutagun. Next up is a horse that is commanding the track and training, posting 3 consecutive bullet workouts, and that is Napoleon Solo. Trained by Chad Summers, he'll have Joel Rosario aboard. 1 start and 1 win, and that race, a 6 furlong, $80,000 maiden race at Saratoga. He had to go wide, but commanded the win, winning by 5 1/4 lengths and earning an 83 buyer. Now, I'm going to point this out. That was a restricted race. It was restricted to horses that sold for $60,000 or less. A restricted race doesn't necessarily mean lower quality, but you're going to want to know that not just any horse could be in that race. For example, It's Our Time would not be in that race. So we have to ask ourselves, who did he actually beat? What was the class of that race? And it's really hard to tell. Both he and the 2nd place finisher earned buyers way above the other runners. And the 2nd place finisher hasn't run back yet. So class is questionable. Can he get the distance? He's by Liam's map, and Liam's map won the Breeders Cup Mile. And he also has a 17% win rate for dirt routers as a sire versus the average of 14%. Top progeny is Burnham Square, who won last year's G1 Bluegrass at 1 1/8 and was also in the Kentucky Derby. But remember, going from 6 furlongs to a mile is a big jump. The trainer says, though, the workouts are not only just that good, the gallop outs have been strong too, indicating that this horse is really preparing for that longer distance. Pace-wise, it's really hard to tell. One race broke slow, not really sure what to do with it. Now, the 3 bullet workouts, they are eye-catching for me. But I'm just going to watch him in this race. He's not, maybe not the winner for me, just due to the fact I don't really know who he beat that day. And this jump to a mile is a really big jump. The final horse is not just Talkin, he is out there proving himself, and that is Talkin. Trained by Danny Gargan, he'll be ridden by Kendrick Carmouche. One race, one win, and that win was in a 7-furlong, $100,000 main special weight at Saratoga. He battled against the number 2 horse in this race, Stradale, and he won by a neck, earning an 82 buyer. Now, he was definitely green in that race. If you watch, he kind of veered in the upper stretch. Hey, Talkin, where did you go? And also, he was really late in changing leads. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, think about if you're running through an airport with a really heavy bag. What do you do when you begin to slow down? You take the bag and you switch it over to the other hand, and boom, instantly you speed up. Well, that's what horses do. They're on one leg for most of the race. They're leading with that leg. And then they are trained to do this. The jockey gives them a clue. They switch over and they lead with the other leg, and they instantly speed up. And so when they're a little bit late in switching the lead, that is an error. So he's green, but he's able to come back and battle. Well thought of Stradale. Remember, Stradale, $1.3 million horse. But Talkin, he's no slouch himself. $600,000 purchase by Good Magic. Good Magic was our Breeders' Cup Juvenile champ in 2017. He came in second to my favorite horse, Justify, in the Kentucky Derby in 2018 and won the G1 Haskell. He was also second in this race in 2017. And Good Magic's top progeny, Mage, went on to win the 2023 Kentucky Derby. Dornick went on to win the 2024 Belmont. Also, the dam sire of Talkin, Tisnow, 2 times a Breeders' Cup Classic winner. So this horse should be able to get the distance. In fact, Gargan is quoted as saying, this horse is a distance runner, especially 2 turns. If we can gauge pace from that one race, he has the right running style and the early pace to back it up. He's going to be stalking the leader. If he learned from that past race, for me personally, he's going to be very competitive, and I'm going to think of him as a top contender. Now, before you go, I'm going to invite you to watch this video right here. Breeders' Cup Classic is right around the corner, and I studied the Breeders' Cup Classic, 30 years of data, built a framework that allows you to narrow that big quality field to 3 to 4 horses. And 83% of the time, the winner is in those 3 to 4 horses. And no funny business here, no black boxes. This is key handicapping foundational principles of form, class, and speed. So watch the video and let me know. Comment on that video. What do you think of the framework? But here, now it's your turn. Drop me a comment below. Tell me who's going to pop that champagne on Saturday and go to the winner circle. Hit like and hit subscribe. I've got that premium Breeders' Cup coverage. I've got premium content on Derby preps. Don't miss out. And if you really liked what you heard today, find that hype button. Help me find audiences like you, or just share this video with all of your horse racing friends. I hope you all find your winner on Saturday and sashay away with your money. Until next time, cheers.